What's up, witches?
What's up, witches?
I'm Linda,
And I'm John.
and this is Getting Witchy.
And sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, today we're going to be talking about runes. Now, I'm not talking about the runes you created on your prom night. It was supposed to be a joke, because people make bad decisions on prom night.
Oh, see, I don't know. I never went to prom.
I didn't either, but I just know people who did.
Mm.
So anyway, that was obviously a terrible joke. And say hi to our cat, Misty. You can barely see her on the frame there. She's just being all judgmental right now. So using runes is a way to, well, similar to tarot. It opens more or grants the user with information that they wouldn't otherwise have by seeking assistance from your guides, your gods, to lay out the runes in a way that you can understand what you need to do.
So they're a divination tool.
I couldn't think of the freaking word. Thank you for letting me freaking hang like that. Yes, it's
You love me.
yes, I do. Divination tool. They can be carved into. I mean, they've been found on just a famous one was found in Ohio, rune stone. There is much debate of its authenticity, but it does actually tell a story of a trade deal or something like that that happened a long time ago, in a galaxy not so far, far away. Sorry, I'm just getting all the nerdy puns out. So they can be used as tattoos. They're typically used for enhancing spells, like when we did our one on color and candle magic.
Yes.
I talked about, did we ever put up anything about those? Did you ever snap a picture of each, what I did on each candle?
I do not remember. I would have to check.
We will get that uploaded too, because I know that that was something that we said we would do. So carved into stone, carved into wood pieces, even they've been found to be carved in bones. Typically animal, but I think there were some human bones found too with runes carved on them. And again, I think I said tattoos, like if you wanted to put a spell on your body of protection, you could enhance that with runes tattooed around or within the spell itself. I do not have the list of corresponding colors with each rune, but there is one. However, using common sense, for lack of a better way to put it, or logic, a rune whose meaning is wisdom, language, inspiration, and truth, I kind of see that as either being blue or purple.
Yeah.
Especially purple, because purple is used for, like, with the amethyst.
The third eye.
Right. As I stated already, they can also be carved into candles to enhance magic. What I've got for you, because this is all by notes, I don't have anything up on the screen behind the camera. So I've got flashcards that I'm going to hold up with each rune, and it's Proto-Germanic pronunciation, and it's old. Well, I will attempt it's Old Norse pronunciation, because they had a dialect all their own, with making vowels out of 2 or 3 syllables that shouldn't be able to make that sound. I mean, some of the names are just amazing. They're beautiful, but it's like, it's completely, I'm not privy to that language at all. Now, I did have to look this up because I felt I knew what Proto-Germanic meant, being pre-German or pre-German civilization, but in fact, what it actually means is the reconstructed language from which all Germanic dialects developed. So at some point, somebody, a scholar, took all the dialects and came up with one root language, kind of like Latin. So this is the Proto-Germanic pronunciation may be incorrect as well. But so you're gonna take this big ass notebook of notes. And as I go over, so these are, now I didn't say it, but runes can also, I did say stone, and technically crystals are stone or developed in stone. I found some quartz crystals on Amazon with the runes carved into them and then painted with a, you can't really see it on the camera because of the light, but well, shit, that didn't work out.
Turn off the light for a second.
Well, then how it, okay.
I said for a second.
All right, see if that makes it any, yeah, there you go. You can see the reflection. Now, what I didn't like about these after I got them and I didn't think about it is, well, they don't lay flat. It's quartz crystal. And these particular pieces were not sawed and polished to be flat. They still got some roundness to them. And that was just a personal thing on my part that I realized I didn't like about them. But they're mine. I love them. And I need to use them more often. But I've seen is it blue lapis?
I think so.
I've seen those.
I've seen amethyst.
And I've seen
and
amethyst.
obsidian, I think.
Yes. All right. Well, I actually need to sit like this because I have to hold this up. So on this card in the upper right will be the runes association to the alphabet. A, B, C, and so forth. Big in the center will be the rune itself. And then on the bottom, on the left will be the Proto-Germanic word or pronunciation of the symbol. And then on the right will be the Old Norse pronunciation of the symbol. What? Oh, so the first, which oddly enough represents the letter A, is Ansuz. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Old Norse, but it looks like a funky F, but it represents A. And that's, again, Ansuz. And that is?
Represents Odin, wisdom, language, inspiration, and truth.
Okay. And then representing the letter B, Berkana, or Bjorkan. So I'm saying they get vowels out of combining two it's really cool, but all right.
And it represents liberation, fertility, new beginnings, and does that say birch?
Birch, the tree.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Birch was sacred. It's also, I think, a goddess symbol. Maybe because of the torch. I may have misspelled that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be torch or touch, but
no, torch.
Okay.
Torch. I may have been tired when I was, because I used to stay up late doing notes and just copying stuff over, and
that's true.
Now this one I find interesting. It represents the letter C, the letter K, and the letter Q, but only looks like a C. And it's Kaunin or Kunin, and then either Kaun or Kun. I'm not really sure how that would be pronounced, to be honest, as I've already stated several times.
And it represents torch, inspiration, creativity, and knowledge.
Now, this one only has a Proto-Germanic. There is no Old Norse pronunciation for this symbol. So to me, that would say that it's probably something relatively new that was added in, even though this is the, what are they called again? The fourth, there's two specific types of runes. There's the
Oh, the Elder Futhark
Thank
and the Lesser Futhark or
Yes,
something like
these
that?
are from the Elder Futhark list. The newer version or the newer list has a lot more in it, and well, it's newer. It's not of as ancient times as these are. So anyway, representing the letter D, and again, there is no Old Norse pronunciation for this symbol, so it probably didn't exist, is the Gaz.
And it represents day, dawn, polarity, awakening, and awareness.
And don't laugh at my draw. I know that's not perfect, but anyway.
Doesn't have to be.
Now this one I found weird also, just like the first with the letter A being almost like an F, until I turned it on its side. Even though that is not the symbol for it to be on its side. The letter E, or Ihwaz, or maybe Iho, looks like the letter friggin' M unless you turn it on its side. But that represents the letter E.
Yes, and it stands for teamwork, force, twin forces, movement, and relationship.
Now, if you're curious where some of these definitions came from, when archaeologists and scholars deciphered the writing that they found, it was described, they described an animal, and that was the symbol that they used to represent it. Fehu, or Fe, for F.
Looks like a really funky half Y.
Yeah.
And it represents cattle, wealth, luck, money, and abundance.
And then we have Gabo, which represents the letter G, or Gar, maybe. But again, it doesn't really look like a G.
And it represents generosity, gifts, love, and partnership.
And then for the letter H, this looks more like an H, but
kind of like a funky N too.
Yeah. Hagalaz, or Hagal. So Proto-Germanic is Hagalaz.
Sorry. Oh, go ahead. Represents hailstorms, loss, destruction, and change.
Big one. For the letter, wow. For the letter I, it has the same name for both languages, or this same spelling of its name. And I would imagine it's probably pronounced similarly. Isa, or Isa, not ISIS people.
And it represents ice, challenge, ego, self, blockage, and standstill.
Now I realize you can, but
oh, I was just thinking about this next one that's coming up.
I invite you, obviously, like we have with almost every video, do your own research on it.
Oh, absolutely.
And their images will be a lot better than mine. But I wanted to give you an idea of what they look like, because whether you realize it or not, you've seen these before. I mean, even if you don't, honestly, even if you don't realize it, you've seen them before. They're practically everywhere. Now, for the letter J, kind of looks like a graffiti S, but the word representing this symbol is Jeda, or maybe R.
I was thinking the less than greater than signs in math.
I'm talking about the pronunciation of that.
Well, no, but I'm talking about that. The way it looks.
Yes.
And this one stands for year, harvest, earth, peace, and reward.
Cool. The next one is for the letter L. This is a funky one too, but the Proto-Germanic pronunciation of this symbol was Laguz, and Old Norse, I'm not even gonna try.
And its meaning is water, sea, lake, flow, and renewal, life's longing for itself, and the unconscious.
That's a deep one.
Yeah.
All right, and for the letter M, the Proto-Germanic pronunciation is Manaz, or yeah, I'm gonna say Manaz. Old Norse Mayor.
And the meaning for that is man, human intelligence, and evolutionary consciousness, as well as the connection to Mimir's well in, I guess, the Akashic. That's what it says in parentheses, or Akashic. I have no idea. These are your notes.
Mimir's well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's okay. So we did an episode on the or a guest that can tap into the Akashic records, but we
Yes.
haven't actually fully talked about the Akashic records.
Well, no.
So, but yes, that will be a
Okay.
topic for another conversation.
Yes. And that episode did actually get posted.
Cool.
So
Cool. For the letter N, looks like a creative crucifix. The pronunciation for it is Nadis, and then for the Proto-Germanic, and then Nadal, maybe,
Nader.
for the Old Norse.
And its meaning is need, resistance, need fire, and hard work.
Need fire?
That's what it says.
Yeah, no.
For your notes, man.
Yes, I know. So need fire, that, let's say, in ancient times, you were traveling with your family. You were going through a torrential downpour somewhere, but your family is freezing to death. You need fire. You would carve that into the ground or into a tree, that type of thing.
Okay.
So, at least that was my understanding of when I did the research on this. Now here's another interesting one. It does not have an Old Norse either. But it's basically the letters ing, singing, running. It's a verb, an action. You're doing something. So the second on here is from Old English. It's the only one where I included the Old English pronunciation for it. So the Proto-Germanic is the English. I actually have it backwards too. The Proto-Germanic word for this symbol is ingwaz. And then the Old English is ing, literally just ing.
And its meaning is seed, transformation, creation, the four selves, and action.
So for the letter O, did I mix this one up too? No, I did not. Okay, so Opila, Opala, or Othila.
But no Old Norse.
But no Old Norse.
And the meaning for this one is heritage, inheritance, ancestral spiritual bank.
Again, that would go with the Akashic records.
Yeah.
And this is a weird one too. And I'm curious of how I tried to research as much as I could about how they came up with the meaning for it, or how they determined what the meaning was. Some of it's a little, it's old. So, but for the letter P, Pjorth. Again, no Old Norse, I'm assuming.
No, I mean, you are correct.
But this represents the letter P.
And its meaning is the lock cup, like what you are given, fate, luck, nothingness, and the unknown.
And then for the letter R, I found the Proto-Germanic one to be interesting, and you'll see why in a moment. But it's basically, I would pronounce that as Rado, and then maybe Rio for the Old Norse. But that kind of looked, that's almost like radio. I just thought that was kind of.
And the meaning behind this one is journey, ride, street smarts, which some people don't have, right actions, and leader.
And for the letter S, so willow would be the pronunciation of the symbol, or soul, that like the Spanish or Mexican word, or no, that's Spanish.
That's Spanish.
Huh?
That's Spanish.
Mexican word for, I mean, Spanish word for soul. Or sun, excuse me.
And the meaning is sun, success, guidance, goal setting, and wholeness.
That's interesting. So the Old Norse word for sun,
so,
which was the same as Spanish and well, all Spanish dialects. Interesting. The letter T is pronounced as tiwaz or tire, maybe.
Tier.
Tier. Okay. Boss says tier.
And the meaning behind that one is balance, justice, honor, sacrifice, warrior, and law.
We're getting there, folks. This is probably actually going to be one of our shorter videos. For the letter U, actually, it looks like a freaking N. Uruz
or the
or
the what do they call that? The newer generations can't write in it.
Cursive.
Cursive, yes, the cursive R, the lowercase r.
Yeah. Yeah, so if there's ever a civil war where the younger generation, I'm sure you guys have seen this meme or the video, Gen X, some Gen Xer put it out. So if the millennials or what's that new, the Alpha, Gen Alpha, they think highly of themselves, don't they? Try to take over the world. Just write all of our plans in cursive. They'll never figure it out. All right, so Uruz or for the letter N.
U, letter U.
Oh, yes, I was it bled through, in my defense, it bled through, and I was actually reading it because it looks like an N. Okay, yes, the letter U.
And the meaning is life force, formation, manifestation, and healing.
I hope I made somebody else laugh too. Now, this is another one with multiple letters attached to it. It's either W or V, depending on its use. But looks like a P.
So, okay, why do we call it a W when usually it looks like a double V?
Well, there's that, but then if you spell out the sound of W, it's a D. Like if you actually spell out the pronunciation of W, it's D. At least Y, WHY, it's Y. You would have a W kind of Y, and then of course Y.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So Wunjo or Win, I guess.
The meaning is joy, contentment, harmony, and friendship. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense if you're joining two U's together.
Yeah.
Or two V's. Out of my head.
Now, hold on. So the letter P, hold on.
monkey, look at
Okay,
C,
no,
look
all
at
right. All right. But this is for the letter X.
Okay, it connects.
The word representing this symbol, or that represents this, is thurisaz, thurisaz, or
Purse.
purge.
The Old English.
What is the Old English?
Porn.
What? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The Old English word representing this symbol is literally porn. Porn. So that's for the letter X.
And the meaning is giants, strong one, which I guess goes along. Thor, defensive force, and protective.
That explains if Thor, it represents Thor. Thor says. Okay. All right. And this one also does not have, I'm assuming, a
Correct.
Old Norse for the letter Y. And it's the word representing this symbol is it was, or I was.
I don't know, it looks like a Z to me. And the meaning is you, as in the yew tree or the yew bush, whatever it is, process of spiritual becoming, kundalini, which is something that we should touch on later.
Yes.
And mystery of life.
Okay. Do you see what I see?
I see what you see.
All right. Obviously, the last one is the letter Z. Algiz or alhaz, and then year or ear, which even that is weird that that would represent Z. Like that looks like a Z, does it not? And that represents Y. This represents Z. And what does that look like, folks?
That looks like a Y with the middle line going.
Yeah, flipping you a bird.
And the meaning behind that one is elk, protection, higher self, safety, and the Valkyries.
Now the elk I get because of
the protection I can kind of get because it looks kind of like a pitchfork.
Yes. I get that too. It's just, I find it interesting. The Old Norse pronunciation for or word for this symbol is YR. And there is no Old Norse for the letter Y.
No.
So I don't know. I'm just find that stuff curious. That's, I mean,
there's so much more to these that really you gotta research them yourself.
Yeah, and there's more than what I even took, and I've got extensive notes on each one of these, but there was more that I could have done, and I didn't. But just like any divination tool, which is what tarot cards are, which runes are, well, hell, tea leaves, all that divination stuff has to be practiced and studied and researched. Find the one that works for you, the one that you are drawn to. That's why I have a couple different, I have tarot cards, I have the rune stones, to see what I connected with more. And for me, thus far, it's been the tarot cards, even though I haven't really done much with them either, to be honest. But yeah, have fun with it. I mean, yes, you could even make up silly games with, I mean, that's how tarot cards hung on, and the concept of them stayed around because
we changed them into, so tarot cards actually transformed into what we use as playing cards today,
right,
for like poker and blackjack and all that. That's how we kept them alive, was by transforming them into something that did not look anything like the original,
because they were on witch hunts. And you know, if you're reading tarot, you're automatically a bad person. So, but that'll be another video that we have.
That might actually have to be a series though, because there's a lot with the tarot.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, you have the major arcana, the minor arcana.
Yes.
So that might actually have to be like 2 or 3.
And a deeper meaning to each
and
yes. Every one of them. I mean, right down to the picture on the card, like the yellow in the picture has a specific meaning. Right. The green has another. I mean, so it gets really fucking in depth.
It does. And considering how many decks there are out there now for tarot, and each one has its own, like the cards have their meaning, but the pictures on them are completely different.
Right.
And how they work the symbolism of the card into the picture without being the same as the original. Like it's right. It's very involved.
It is. And some of them are pretty, I mean, yes, I'm sitting here talking about runes, made a poor ass joke about ruining your life at prom night at the beginning, but I forgot where I was going with that.
The runes, like the medium that they're carved into might change, but they stay the same.
Yes, they do. Whereas with tarot, it does
not.
Does not. Oh, that's what I was saying. So there are so many far out, like out there interpretations of tarot decks or creations of tarot decks. I mean, I've seen fucking cat tarot decks.
Oh, there's a Golden Girls tarot deck.
I would buy that, to be honest, but I wouldn't use them.
No. Maybe.
No.
See what Sophia says.
No. That would be, I mean, then there's angel decks, there's fairy decks, I've got one that's Egyptian gods deck. So I mean, and even though they have like every deck, each card that like for the magician, there is the magician in this deck. They might call it something different,
right?
But it is the magician. So the base meaning of that card is universal, but
there's also going to be their own little spin on it.
So you really got to, I prefer the Raider White deck myself.
Rider Waite,
excuse me. Thank you.
But no, see, that's one of the differences, I think, when it comes to divination tools is that, like we mentioned earlier, regardless of what the medium is that the runes are carved into or painted onto, the meaning stays the same.
Right.
Yes. And it's always going to be that.
Right.
With the cards, though, like those go away. Those don't always stay true.
I haven't done it in a hot minute, but one of the things I loved to do when I was doing spells, you know, like actually writing out spells, and whether I buried it somewhere or I burned it and scattered the ashes, and occasionally the wind blew the ashes right back in my face. You were on the phone with me one time when that happened. Seriously, I had a cauldron full of ash from a spell, and I went outside, and I didn't want to just dump it. Like I wanted to try to scatter them, but I may have had a drink or two, and I wasn't thinking, because it took a minute for the candle to finish burning. So I wasn't thinking about the bowl that is a cauldron. So when I blew into this fucking thing, it was more that, not that the wind blew it back into my face, I blew it straight out and up, because it went up the side of the wall of the cauldron, and just
the wind caught it,
and then the wind just did the rest. So but anyway, what I was saying is that, sorry, I get sidetracked. One of my favorite things to do is, if I was doing a spell for a new job, which we need to do,
yes, we are both in the market for new jobs.
Yeah, with the same company, but
new positions.
I should
say.
What was I saying? Oh, I would draw with either green or purple or blue or pink or even red, depending on what I was trying to accomplish. You know, a rune that is for that specific task or goal. Like if I was trying to get a new job or a new position, I would associate that with prosperity, and I would use a green ink to draw the symbol on the paper and then write out the spell over it.
So in your notes, you say that they can be used in cooking. Have you ever done that?
No, but I have not. And to me, that would be like you would carve that into, let's say you dice up some carrots.
Okay.
And then you would
dice it, like carve it into the carrot slices, or
yes.
Okay.
Or even I mean, hell, you could do that with potato as well. But yeah, no, I haven't tried that for like healing and stuff.
Or
For,
use like oil
soup.
to put it on like a bay leaf or something before you.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, there we go.
absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, experiment, whether it's ruins or tarot or tea leaves, find what works for you. These can be a lot of fun. As you can tell, we have some fun talking about them. But yeah, that's all I think I have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay.
This is your, like, I
I
don't
know.
really deal with those.
But I love
Ooh.
using it for additions to spells. I know I've said that a couple times. Use it in your candle magic. Use it in your candle magic. Shit works.
Something else that could also be done.
Mhm.
One thing that I had always read when I was starting out was that if you're going to keep a book of shadows or a record of your spell work that you do, that it should actually be written in some sort of code that nobody else can read. And the runes would actually be a really good way to do that.
Yeah, I would. Yes, it would. And it would make you quite versed in
Yes.
The, I guess, language, for lack of a better.
Right. And then that's exactly what they are. They are a language.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Imagine that. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed the this episode, and hope you have a great weekend. We will try to get another one done this weekend at some point. I'm off for the next couple days. But yeah. So love you. Peace.
Peace out, witches.